Hello and welcome to Surveyor Says, the podcast from the National Society of Professional Surveyors. Each week, we bring you fascinating guests that are involved in the profession of surveying. My name is Tim Birch, and I'm the Executive Director for the National Society of Professional Surveyors and your host for the podcast. Subscribe to the podcast on most of your favorite streaming platforms, as well as our podcast host, Podbean. For more information about the podcast and NSPS, please visit our website, nsps.us.com. So, without further delay, here's our next episode of Surveyor Says, the NSPS podcast. Hello and welcome to another episode of Surveyor Says. This is your host, Tim Birch. I would be lying if I said I wasn't looking forward to this conversation on several fronts, simply because it's going to tie into a lot of things that NSPS has got going on. We've got the YSN connection, we've got the marketing connection, we've got the scouting connection, and the Jamboree connection. And so to tie that all together, I asked, and I thought I was going to have to twist her arm. I really did, but she relented. She did. I was pleased that she did. This is Katherine O'Buckley. Can I affectionately call you Kat? Is that okay?
That's all right. I honestly don't really care what people call me.
Oh, yes.
Catherine, the name Catherine just comes with so many nicknames.
Sure.
And yeah, I did sports growing up, so Cat was just always like the quicker name to say out on a field.
Right.
So
Right.
I've been going by Cat for many years now.
Well, I only say that because that when in the circles that we cross in within NSPS and YSN and student competitions and things, that's what I always hear people call you. But I don't want to be presumptuous to say, you know what? If I'm not a friend of hers, I can't call her that. I need to call her by her real name, and that's Catherine. But no, it's Cat fits you. So that's what I think is awesome.
Thank
So
you.
so Kat, tell us a little bit about yourself. I mean, how did you get into surveying? Any kind of education, and then where you're working at and what you're doing right now.
Well, I was born. Yeah, like many surveyors, I am brought by nepotism. Um, my grandfather learned about surveying through his brother-in-law. So there's an entire section of my family that practices surveying under a different last name in upstate New
Okay.
York. Um, and then my uncle and my dad are surveyors. My cousins are surveyors. My sister's a surveyor. Here I am.
The, I did. I mean, I knew about your sister, but I didn't know about the rest of the generational surveying. That's awesome. I mean, that's uh, because I can tell you right now. I mean, my daughter. I'm second generation surveyor. My daughter said, I ain't doing that, Dad. Nope, nope, don't want to do it." So, okay, so tell us a little bit about the educational background, and then where it's led you to your current employer.
Well, I mean, honestly, that's really fair because I have three sisters, and two of my siblings said, "Ain't no way I'm doing
Ah,
surveying."
there you go.
Um, I remember my senior year of high school, I was, you're always like really anxious. They're like, pick what you're gonna do with your life. Um, and that thought was really scary and really overwhelming. And just, helping out with my family's business over my childhood, it's, I know I'm going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
I
Good.
know that this has brought me my upbringing, and yeah, I will survive,
Yeah,
and
good.
that's really all you're hoping to do. And um I think I was brought up really well. I grew up quite privileged. Um and so I was like, I can do this. So I ended up going to SUNY Alfred State, after my sister did because
Right.
she went before me. And I had a full ride scholarship because I spent most of my days in libraries. So,
Good for
um,
you.
yep, got a full ride. I got scholarships from my state organization, and I had like part-time jobs on campus, so I got paid to go to college essentially. Um,
Nice.
yeah, and I I made the active choice when I got into college that I would take a different internship every every break. So I would intern with a different company. Um, because I came from a small like mom and pop shop out of Queens, and my grandpa was always really he always really stressed like you have to go see what's out there and you have to go learn from as many people as possible. Because you gain so many little tidbits here and there.
Exactly.
So I made that choice from the get-go until I landed on Control Point Associates, which is the company I work for right now. Um, I just remember feeling very much like myself.
Good. As you
Um,
should.
yeah, I was just like, the other places I worked for, they were great, but I just remember I'm like, oh, like I'm here. I feel like myself. I feel comfortable. I like all my coworkers, and it was a really good learning environment. And they also had offices in the five boroughs, which was solid.
Y- and that right there blows my mind because I mean, I grew up in Illinois. I did most of my work outside of Chicago, and as my as my career went on, I got to know a few firms in downtown Chicago, but the thought of serving in New York almost is a little bit scary. But obviously, it's not.
I don't think it's scary at all.
No,
It's cumbersome, like annoying. And
sure,
I feel bad for our field guys, um, because we have so many people, like we have such great population density that
mm-hmm.
the likelihood of someone knocking a pair of legs is high.
Oh, sure,
Or you can't see your prism because people are walking in the way. So a lot of field crews just they get out early in the morning and at dusk, like depending on what the project is, they
right.
just have to go where when there's no people out. So people's schedules can get really wonky for field crews, um, for sure.
Absolutely. Well, one thing that's impressed me getting to know you these last several years is seeing your involvement um, outside of the day to day with um, all the different levels of associations um, in your local levels. And tell us a little bit that about. I see you a lot on socials with the local level. So tell us a little bit about that involvement.
Well, when I graduated from college, the then president at the time, I think it was Roy Garfinkel of Nice Apples, he gave me a call and asked if I wanted to participate in the communications committee at the state level. Um, so I've been doing that since college. And that was also around the same time that I started doing YSN because I started
Okay.
YSN right after I graduated. Um, and as a kid from Queens, it was, I don't know, it's kind of disheartening. Like, we never really had a chapter in the five
Sure.
boroughs. Um, we've had like some ghost chapters, like they're technically there, but no one participated in anything. They didn't host any events. So I was just like, I'm from here. I've
Yeah.
been here the whole time and I haven't heard of you. That's
Right.
insane.
Right.
So over the past 2 years, we revived one of the original chapters from the Nice Apples Charter. We revived BLSA, the Brooklyn Land Surveyors Association.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh, so it's really cool to like I think. It was founded in the early 1920s.
Sure.
Um, and to like breathe more life into it again is really exciting. It's hard. It's so difficult. But it's really rewarding when you see like the little things kind of start working, especially when you're coming up from essentially ground zero and there's no infrastructure. You make the infrastructure.
Right.
Um, so we're making those choices now. And what's exciting about our group is most of us are younger than 40. Um,
Yes, that's pretty obvious, and that's
yeah,
excellent.
yeah, most of us are younger than 40. Um, and out of our leadership, I think
Right.
4 out of 6 of our officers are younger than 40.
Very good.
Uh,
Well, like I said, I've seen you a lot on social media with that group, and I think it's excellent. I mean, it really shows the spirit of the people that are coming together to, like you said, to revitalize. One of the old groups that if it wasn't for you, they would just still lay there dormant. Um, well, I
I
don't.
really love the idea of community. I love community,
Oh, good.
and I think I think we deserve some good community. Um, as surveyors, I guess, I don't know, by education or by like that's just who we are. We're very, what is it? Not, is isolationist the correct word? We're
Um,
very
very,
introverted
very
typically,
introverted.
and
Yes.
we keep to ourselves. And I'm just like, come on, guys, like we're okay. We got some
Yes.
good people. We're funny. We the amount of like older surveyors
Yes.
that I meet at conferences, they're hilarious. Like we're a good time. We should just enjoy each other's company every once in a while outside of state conference because for the most part, this one of like my main gripes, at least in the state of New York, it's nice. I think that the state societies and the chapters, like you only interact with them once a year, maybe.
Right. Right.
It's like, oh yeah, Nice Apples exists once a year when I need my continuing education credits. And it really shouldn't be that way. It should be like, hey, we're your state society. Here's what's going on. Here's opportunities for things. It should be omnipresent. I think YSN should be omnipresent, the chapters, everything.
Exactly. Well, I'll give Nice Apples a shout out because what they've done with some marketing, with some promotion, with their social media, I got to be honest with you, it's heads and tails above 90% of the states that are out there trying to do something or maybe doing nothing. So they are, I think they're ahead of the curve. But to your point, if that's the way people are feeling that they're only really visible once a year for a conference, yeah, there's still some work to do. So and and
Absolutely.
and not to take anything away from Nice Apples, I want to talk about your involvement in NSPS, the Young Surveyors Network, YSN, because you've become very active and quite vocal within the marketing group that needed a reboot, that needed that revamp, and the fact that you've stepped up in a huge way and really taken ownership of getting the socials out, getting the messages out, just like you're talking here. It's not something we hear just every now and then when we need to. Tell us a little bit about why your motivation is just so incredible to be in the marketing, and what pushes you to want to do more with that role.
It's when I first started out of college, I was 22 and I think they were saying that they needed help promoting the student competition. Um, in college, one of my part-time jobs was a photographer for the sporting events and like social events on campus. I ran multiple Instagram pages for the school And I was like, I do that already. I've done that. I've done that for a while and I'm pretty capable. Um, and during that first year of market research, I made it a point, like I followed every state association's Facebook page and their LinkedIn's, and I read everyone's newsletters, and I did my best to look around and see what was going on, and it felt really existential. It felt really bleak, as a nepotism baby, like that weight of like, oh yes, we're an aging industry. And it was such a, I realized it was such a problem everywhere. And it made
Right.
me real sad. It made me really, I remember crying. I, during like just like scrolling around, I was like, we got to be somewhere,
Yep.
right? Um,
But we
and all I can
weren't.
think about is like, God, you guys are dying. Like it's a really sad existential thought that I think about like all the time. And I don't know, because I lost my grandpa like a few years back, and I remember like telling him all my ideas and like my time at Nice Apples. It was just like, oh yeah, that's a great idea, Catherine, and I get really brushed off. And I remember telling like my grandpa like all these ideas, and he was just like, you're more than I could have ever dreamed.
Hmm. Yes. That's
So like
that's great.
we can't save we can't save you guys. I can't save myself. We're all gonna die. But what we can do is like leave this gift for the people that come after us. Me in my generation, we can give you something to be proud of. And that that's something that like just I think it drives me quite a bit.
Well, that's good. That's good. Like I said, your impact this last year plus has been it's been remarkable, and it really has. And I even go back to even some of the early um, student competitions when you were there, snapping pictures and just looking through. All of the images that we collect from anybody that's out there, and snapping pictures. I think I've got a good enough eye. If you put them all together, I can spot a Catherine O'Buckley picture because you've got a great eye, and you've got a great way of really kind of knowing what the subject matter is and when to capture them at the right time. So, no, your photography has been fantastic, and now just seeing how much more you've put into the marketing side of it and putting together thoughtful posts and really driving it to where it needs to be towards the younger generation. So I guess that's part of what I'm just very curious on where that inner drive comes from. That's awesome.
I I don't know. I've always I don't know if it's like poopy to say, just be like, I'm an achiever.
Yeah. Hey, that's
Um,
okay.
I've al- I want I want deeply, and it leads me to go after the things that I want. Um, and unfortunately, I don't think we have a lot of leadership that expresses their wants. Um, it's very quiet. Sometimes I feel bad for how vocal I am sometimes because it kind of feels like I'm the only one saying things most of the
Right.
time. But I think leadership needs to want for people to participate. They they need something to follow. And if leadership doesn't want anything, they say, well, the status quo is fine. We exist right now. And I'm like, not for long, man.
No,
Like,
no.
um, we need to start expressing as much as we can.
Well, and you're absolutely right. And I know that's one thing I do want to say is that you have been influential to others around you. I think there are more that are speaking up to their wants and their desires or where the profession needs to go. So, if that's one thing I would say for as an observer, um, definitely don't stop because it's there is a groundswell. I think from what I see from my view here in the cheap seats that the young surveyors, the younger generation's really starting to build. It's starting to become the the leaders that I'm hoping that takes over the profession. And to be honest, and you're a big part of that. So please, not that you're going to, but please don't change. Which I want to go into the next kind of the topic. The other thing we were going to talk about. Okay, so what's a girl from New York City, surveyor, generational surveyor? What drives you to want to volunteer for the scouting jamboree in the hills of West Virginia? I mean, what what made you decide to volunteer for that, and what kind of drove that idea to go help?
Um, During the last Jamboree, that was 2023.
Yep.
That was during like my first year of market research. And so I remember it coming up and seeing the images coming out of the 2023 Jamboree and thinking, oh my gosh, this looks like so much fun. Why can't we have fun like that? Um, and to see such a that's a very put together event. And to see there wasn't too much promotion from our side, and not as much involvement from surveyors. I like camping. I
Mm-hmm.
I can go camping for a week and help out. Um, and I guess like relatively it was pretty affordable. I think for people under the age of 30 or 35, it was
Mm-hmm.
$400 for the entire week. And you got your campsite, they fed you all your meals. They had all of like the little events going on. And because I was there week one, like you could have gone on like the big zip, or you could have gone to try out the rock climbing wall because like everyone was setting up. Um, and like the opening ceremony, they had like fireworks and a drone show. It like they had like a rock cover band come. It was insane. And I was just like, I'll go. I'll do that. Sure, why not? Um, it was such a cool, fun experience, and I'm a little bummed I couldn't do the full 2 weeks. Like that's a lot of time to take off work to go play in the woods.
Right. Right.
Um, so I'm very happy that I got to experience a part of it, and I would definitely recommend to anyone that they go. And definitely being there, I got to meet the granddaughter of one of the founders of Scouting, which
Wow.
was insane. And I actually got to meet the Scoutmasters, the Troop Masters.
Right. Yes.
I got to meet the Scoutmaster for Manhattan, so I got the connection to
Nice.
bring the Survey Merit Badge back home. So
Right.
that was really, really great. And I got to see one of the other volunteers from upstate New York. I love Jared Ransom. He's one of my favorite people. He's also an Alfred State alum. I was like, oh my God, it's Jared.
Yep.
Um, and he actually told me there's like survey merit badge counselors in the state of New York. Only four,
Right.
which is insane. New
Yes,
York
we do need
has
more. Do need more.
New York has one of like the bigger state associations, and to only have four seems absolutely kooky to me. And then people say, well, the scouts just aren't interested in the surveying merit badge. And so many of the people that came up to the booth were just like, well, we can't find anyone to give us the surveying merit badge.
Hmm.
We can't find anyone, and we can only find it here. And
Right.
that's what, once every 4 years, all of these troops from around
Right.
the US can only find it at Jamboree.
There's pockets. Yeah, that's just it. That's the only, yeah, the only regular place. Otherwise it's little pockets. And that's why I think it's important to tell this story and the experience you had. And just giving people that recommendation to, check it out, see what it would take to become a merit badge counselor in your area, because we need to have more people like you that are willing to step up and do these things.
Yeah, definitely while we were over there, I had a discussion with some of the people in scouting about putting together some clear instructions on how to get involved because I just don't think that's properly conveyed. So I'm thinking about putting together like a mini campaign in relation to scouting. So
That would
hopefully
be
that's
excellent.
coming out on YSN, NSPS YSN pages.
Yeah,
Coming to you
good.
soon,
Coming
maybe.
soon. Coming soon.
Coming soon.
Well, and that's part of why I wanted to hear, in your own words, some of the experiences, because as a young surveyor who just happens to be a woman, what was it like being there? I mean, because I hear of the influence now that the young women have within the scouting world, and tell us a little bit about that interaction of those young scouts coming up and going, "Oh wow, surveying merit badge, I want to do this."
I did get to see a few bigger groups of girls come in, and we actually got to get a group out of Rochester, New York. They were so, so sweet. And they knew like SUNY Alfred State surveying program, and I was just like, heck yeah, I came out of that
Ah,
program, ladies.
yeah.
And I thought all of the young ladies, they were so sweet and they were so intelligent. They were so funny too. There was the group from Rochester. I was just like listening into their conversation and they were like, every day we slay, but today we survey. And
Oh, that's
I
good.
I just started cracking up. Like they're so funny. These these
Well,
these younger groups are funny.
well, exactly. And I would like to think that out of that group, even if there are one or two of those young ladies that follow in your footsteps and go through the surveying program at Alfred or wherever, that was worth it. That was worth all of your effort to go do that. If you can make that inspiration just to even a couple, it's got to start somewhere.
Yeah, well, I was talking to some of the other volunteers and they were saying, some of the kids would stop them and be like, "Can I get a job?" They were like, "Absolutely, you can get a job." And why it's so important to like that interaction during the merit badge. Like we had parents accompanying the scouts, and I got to have a conversation with one of the dads. He was just like, "I didn't know all this stuff about surveying. That's really interesting. That's."
Yes.
And he's just like, I just had no idea. I'm like, well, now you do.
Now you do.
Um, and we talk a lot about what is the best way to, I guess, do outreach to people who are like on that cusp of like deciding their future. Obviously, like get kids into survey as people that are real, real young. And Trigstar isn't necessarily popular. No,
Hmm.
no offense to Trigstar. But I think scouting is really where that is. Like these are the people that are coming to do the badge. For the most part, I would recommend them being like 12 and up, just so they
Okay.
have like those basic math concepts.
Right.
Um,
Right.
but a lot of them are like getting into high school, and kind of like mulling things over. And I think the qualities like coming out of scouts, like the discipline, um, that a lot of those young kids have, there's already a lot of soft skills that they have to learn in
Hmm.
scouting.
Exactly.
Um, I think they're really just a prime group of people that we're not reaching out to enough. Um, like I think every state should just have like a major initiative. It should be like one of their core pillars to care about the scouts.
Yep.
I I think about it. I think about it all the
Well, we've heard
time.
it. We heard it here first. We need to challenge the states and all the state affiliates to get this program rolling, and well, we're going to follow Kat's example.
Oh
So
wow. You heard it. I'm gonna
yeah,
find you. No, I'm just kidding.
yes, exactly. We're going to
Um,
find it. We're going to find it. Question for you though on some of the attendees, some of the people that came through and that went through the marriage merit badge process. Um, in I guess your estimation, how many are, I mean, like working towards the Eagle Scout, but yet still chose to include the merit badge as part of their journey? Were there several of those?
Definitely. And a a decent amount of the kids were specifically challenging themselves just to finish all the badges. We got a lot of those.
Really?
Yeah. Um, and a lot of people were interested in all of like the little gadgets that NSPS sent us with. They loved the challenge coin because
Oh,
they're,
nice.
they're what is it called? They're whatever small adorable rodent loves shiny objects. Um, they're little trash pandas. They're just like, ooh,
Oh,
shiny.
yes. Yeah, there you go.
Um, they saw the challenge coin, and I swear to God, they lit up.
Good.
And honestly, it's a cool coin. I gave my coin to my dad.
Oh,
Um, my dad was a scout, when he
nice.
was a kid, and he's still friends with all of the people
Oh,
that he knew
sure.
in scouts when he was a kid. Um,
Nice.
so I was just like, I brought all of my stuff. I put it in a little pile and I put it all out on the coffee table. I'm like, Father, for you, I bring back memorabilia from Jamboree.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, he has to be very proud of you of the fact that, besides the surveying part, I mean, you went and assisted in something that he was heavily into when he was, like you said, when he was a kid, and he's carried those relationships on. Yeah, that would be a proud dad moment.
Yeah. Well, when I came back and I talked to him about my experience, and I told him there was only four survey merit badge counselors in New York, he was just like, I can get signed up if you help me figure it out.
Right.
Um, and so he's considering getting back involved in scouting.
Oh,
And I'm
nice.
probably going to be reaching out to the other downstate chapters about getting back involved.
Well, you know what? You said a name earlier that we need to rattle his cage a little bit. A Mr. Garfinkel. Since he's
Oh
now
yeah.
the NSPS director for New York, we need to challenge him to get more engaged with, and have people within the state of New York fire this up. So somehow, some way, Roy, if you're listening to this, there's your challenge. Kat and I are coming after you. So we'll get him. We'll get him.
Oh goodness.
So there was it. So I mean, obviously, overall, this was a great experience at Bechtel to see all of these. I mean, because there was like what 15, 18, 20,000 kids or something like that there.
I think it was between 10 to 15, and that's a small year for them
Is it okay?
because I think in the first few years they sold out.
Right.
So they had like 40,000 people
Oh, sure.
in like when that site opened up in like 2013, twenty
Hmm.
seventeen, even 2023 after COVID, they just had full years.
Right.
full jamborees. So like this was a tiny one comparatively.
Really,
Um,
but still a lot of people.
it's still a lot of people. I've not
Still a lot of
interacted with
rugrats.
that many young people about surveying ever.
Good.
Um, so it was quite the experience. It was
Nice.
it was tiring.
Oh, I
It was
bet.
it
I
was
bet.
it was tiring, but very, very fulfilling.
Well, and how long was the drive for you?
It was 12 hours down, stopping at NSPS headquarters, and then a 10-hour drive back to New York
Back. Okay.
City. Um, but one of the guys, I think he drove from Minnesota. He drove
Yes,
like
I believe so.
16 hours.
Yep. Well,
It
it
was
takes some dedication.
insane.
It's dedication from everyone, which
Where's
is
everyone from West Virginia? It was in your backyard. I drove 12 hours,
yeah, I know
22
it.
hours.
I know. I
I
know.
know, I
We
know.
need. Yep. We need to. Yeah. We need to get. Well, and that's the part of the reason I wanted to discuss this with you, to hear. Well, to hear the enthusiasm in your voice and for this experience, that it's so worth putting the time in to to pay the profession back for for what we've done, and try to pay it forward to these young students that do need that encouragement.
Absolutely. And I mean, birdies say that people in the West Virginia Association were complaining that the booth was being headed by someone from Illinois. And I
Yep.
go, hey, if you're complaining and not doing anything, you can go talk to a wall.
Yep.
Because I think a lot of people are like quite performative in their support. Um, they want enough to speak, but not enough to move. And I
Sure.
think that's quite a lot of the problem. Um, you need to want enough to move your feet.
Exactly.
And like that's so difficult. Um, getting a lot of the older membership to want or to have like hope, even especially in New York, we have a very nihilistic group of people. And I can't imagine it being much better elsewhere.
No,
It's
it's pretty much
this
that
is the
everywhere.
this is the way things are. We tried and it sucked, and I don't want to try again. And a part of me is just like, well, maybe it's time for you to stop trying, and it's time for me and
Hmm.
people of my group to maybe try it our way.
Hmm.
And I know
Exactly.
you think that my way is the same way as your way and that you tried it. Maybe it's not. Maybe give it a try.
Well, and that's what
You'd
I
be
was saying.
surprised.
That was what I was saying earlier, that I'm noticing how much more vocal and confident the younger generation is becoming, and you're a big part of that. There are several others out there as well, but I want to go back to the scouting thing for a second, because I mean, a huge shout out to Kyle Schultz. He's done this I don't know how many times. The Parkland College community that have donated and uh, allowed their faculty to come to the Jamboree for years with the equipment, with all these things. If somebody in Virginia, West Virginia, any Ohio, any of the neighboring states, if they want to step up, there's nothing stopping you. So please do step up. But thank you to Kyle Schultz. I know Kyle Allred was there as well, and Kyle Allred's an old friend. I think the world of him as well. That I can't imagine being around both Kyles for a couple of days. That had to have been a hoot.
I actually didn't get to meet Kyle Allred in
Oh, you
person.
didn't? Okay.
No, he was there for second week.
Oh,
Um,
second week. Okay.
yeah. But meeting Kyle Schultz was really, really lovely. I think he's been doing it for forever. I'm
Just about.
for forever. He I think he told me that he learned about surveying through the surveying merit badge.
Yes, he's one of the
Um,
few.
and to see that he's come this far, and I think recently he started his own company.
Yep, sure
And
has.
there's always this conversation of, man, I just never have enough time, and you're never gonna have enough time. Kyle has a family, he's starting his own business. Like he's doing all of these things, and wow, golly gee, he found the time
Hmm.
to show up.
Well, what's the old saying? We all have the same 24 hours a day. It's just how
Yeah.
you choose to use them. So, well, listen, Kat, I want to be respectful of your time. We're recording after a long day of work and all of this stuff, but I gotta wrap up with my one final question I always ask, and I think based upon everything you've been doing, I really want your take on this. How does the future of surveying look to you?
I mean, I remember a few years back, I think it was like the last fall meeting that I went to. You stood in front of the entire group and said, there's a chance we'll fail in what we're doing. And I was thinking that the whole time. I was like, someone said it. There's a chance that we'll fail. And I think I kind of want to challenge that a bit to say, to to have gotten to the point where we are now, maybe we already failed to get to the point where we are now. And when you've made it to the bottom, all you've got to do is go up.
Right.
So I think there is a lot of hope and hunger to be had. And we're definitely at a bit of a crossroads generationally, um, where I think people just need to let go a little bit, in regards to how they allow younger people to interact with the state societies. Um, because they
Agreed.
say, "Oh, we try," and I'm like, "No, you don't actually." Um, at least from the perspective as someone from New York, all of our committee meetings are during a workday in the afternoon, which gives field crew people who do field work no opportunity to participate.
Right.
Um, it Our young professionals committee, I think, is invite only.
Hmm.
So I'm not even a part of the young professionals
Hmm.
committee in the state of New York. We don't have a YSN. Um, there's really not much of a presence of young professionals in my state, which is
Okay.
why I'm an at-large member for YSN, which is why I've been participating in YSN so much, because I have so much to give and I wish I could give it to my state. Don't get me wrong. I've been enjoying my time
Hmm.
participating with NSPS YSN, but I can't, they seem to not want me to give them all of this. So instead, I've spent all of this time building up NSPS YSN, and I get to see Nice Apple's social media metrics every month. And NSPS YSN, what we've done with our social media, we easily double
Good.
what my state society does. Um, and I think a lot of it is just giving young people the opportunity. We don't give young people enough of the opportunity. And a lot of people will say, "Where are you?"
Hmm. Well, exactly.
Um, and not everyone is as loud as I am, and that's okay. Um, but sometimes you just gotta meet people where they are. You know,
Exactly.
if it's very chicken and the egg, what comes first? And I think leadership has to be the one to extend the olive branch first.
Exactly. Well, good. Good. We'll end on that because like I said, I want to be respectful of your time. Thank you for taking the time to talk about this, sharing a little bit about yourself. I didn't know how the depth and breadth of your generational surveying background was. I'm blown away. I mean, there's a few people I've known out there that have, you know, 2 or 3 brothers that are surveyors or what, not to the level that the cat has, which is awesome. I'm very jealous. So, you know, I tell you what, everybody, you heard a lot of things here first. We're coming after you, Roy Garfinkel. We're coming after you, States, with some YSN stuff. And keep your eye out on the YSN socials, because like she said, it's really ramped up. And, well, you've been the catalyst, Miss Cat, for a lot of that. So thank you very much. Thanks for your dedication to the profession. And I'm looking forward to working with you for many years to come.
Thank you so much, Tim.
All right. Well, that'll wrap it up for this episode of Surveyor Says. Wherever you listen to your podcast, hit the subscribe button. And also make sure and listen to the Between the Stakes podcast, the new podcast from the NSPS YSN. A lot of good conversations, a lot of good stories there. It's a nice place to try to get more information about surveying, especially from the younger folks like Kat. So bookmark that too. And we'll talk to you soon. Thanks. You've been listening to Surveyor Says, the NSPS podcast, brought to you by the National Society of Professional Surveyors. If you have any questions about today's episode or any other topic, please email us at info@nsps.us.com, as we are here to help. Subscribe to the podcast on most of your favorite streaming platforms, as well as our podcast host, Podbean. For more information about the podcast and NSPS, please visit our website, nsps.us.com. And remember, it's a great day to be a surveyor.